What's up, everybody? Big Kirk 916, getting down fresh out. And we want to say thank you for being a part of our team over here on YouTube, for being a subscriber, a supporter, somebody who's a Wixflip member. We appreciate everything you've done as we move forward. And in our next phase, we would like to invite you to join us on our Patreon movement. And in this movement, we're going to do something that's unprecedented. We want to build a fresh out facility that you can come and participate in, that's going to allow you to pursue your dreams, whether they're in photography, whether they're in music, whether they're in personal training, whatever it is. We want you to be a part of that and be successful in whatever you do. If we could just get half of you guys to come in, become a part of our Patreon, we could start this movement and start this build out of this facility that will have music production, video production, personal training, opportunities to do welding, auto mechanics, construction, you name it. We'll have people be able to come in and teach courses, people being able to guest speak and share their entrepreneurial success, and all this will be accessible to you as a member of our Patreon team. Now, our goal is to reach this by October, which will allow us to go and locate a building, do the build out, pay for overhead costs, hire employees, and get the ball rolling. So we wish that you guys move with us on this goal and become a part of our Fresh Out family on Patreon, so that together we can pursue these dreams, our goals, and all of us into the future become successful together. Big Kirk 916, Fresh Out. I just want to talk about a story I thought was pretty interesting. Two young men in Marion pull a Marion resident from burning home. And this was June 22nd. And it was in, it says here, Grant County. And yeah, these guys were, it was Marcus Harvey and Trey Jones. They were driving down the street when they both noticed smoke. They came up on a house. They first thought it was burning trees. Marcus and Trey asked the crowd of people what was going on. They were told house was on fire, that a man was somewhere still inside. Placing their own lives in danger, the pair knew they had to jump into action. They managed to kick down the door, find a man who's still laying on a couch, pull him from the home. The man was transferred to Marion General Hospital to be checked for injuries. The man was Guy Tarleton. He had put a pot on the stove, but then fell asleep on the couch. He's actually, I guess he had 3rd-degree burns over his body, over 34% of his body, and he's currently in a medically induced coma. These two guys at Grant County, young black men, and they didn't hesitate. It wasn't based on race. The guy that they saved, it didn't have nothing to do with his skin color. They just went in there and helped the guy. And these kind of stories is what we don't hear about on mainstream media anymore. This, as far as just human, human love, or just this behavior that's not with a narrative, it's pretty much been, it's been suppressed. They don't want people to know that we could still help each other, we could still elevate each other, we could still live together in harmony. When there's a narrative to be told, they have no problem pushing that narrative, especially when there's agenda. But when you look at something like this, two young black men, typically they show a black guy either breaking something into a building, beating up somebody, or getting beaten up by the cops. But why don't they show, why didn't they, why didn't they go and show these guys? I mean, it was local news, but why didn't they do a nationwide thing showing how they saved somebody, save somebody that didn't look like them? Why didn't they show this story? See, you guys got to ask the question, man. I mean, how much are you really, being played? Because if you see more of this, there's probably 100 stories like this that happen across the country, maybe 1,000, daily. But all we do when you get into a certain mind frame, if you want to look for something that's dark, you can find it all day long. But on the flip side of that, there's a lot of positive out there too. And I don't follow the whole narrative with just pushing dark negative energy and looking at how bad something is, because there has to be good with bad. Not everything's bad. We know there's bad, but there's also good out there. So why aren't we addressing any of the good? Why aren't we, being fed anything to make us feel better about ourselves, to boost our self-esteem, to show that, two young men outside, they're not playing basketball, they're not throwing a football, they're not, running track or doing, these guys are, just kids, the young men, and they did the right thing, and there is a lot of young black men doing the right thing. It doesn't, they're not all violent, they're not all ex-felons, and you can't, judging somebody by their appearance that they're a bad person. I mean, why aren't we being shown that? And so when you guys, are out here, pumping your fist and you're saying this and you're watching the news and you're hearing all this stuff, people want to tear down this, tear down that, and vandalize this, vandalize that. What are you actually trying to achieve by that? At the end of the day, say I gave you everything you want. Now, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do? We give you what you want. Now, are you going to really make the effort as an individual? I'm not talking about as a group where you're sitting around a bunch of other people and you're letting them talk for you. Are you going to make the effort yourself to make a positive change? Once you know something, you can no longer claim stupidity or ignorance. So if I tell you, or educate you on a topic and kind of show you how things are actually structured, and you recognize that structure because maybe you didn't understand how it worked before, what is your excuse now? Why are you so upset when now you can create change yourself because you have it? You can't make the next man create their own change. You can't make the next person want to do what you want to do if they're not ready to elevate their conscience at that time. You can't make somebody not be racist. You can't make somebody not get out, a cop, get out the car and beat somebody. Those people are ignorant. They should be dealt with accordingly. But now you have control of yourself. So what are you going to do? Not with the next man. What are you going to do? How are you going to implement that change? Now that you know, see, you have no excuses. The other person, you can make excuses for them, but that's not their excuses because you're not living in their mind. But you have access to creating your own reality and justifying your own actions. And that's one of the big problems, is like a lot of people don't want to own up to that. So all I'm saying is that look at the narrative, look at what the agenda that's being pushed, and ask yourself, why can't we get any feel-good stories? Why can't we get any stories where people are helping each other? You got a black guy helping an older white lady or older white couple, across the street. Or I seen a story where black guy shot for the older white lady. And it doesn't have to, and it's sad that you had older white lady. It could just be an old lady. It doesn't matter. It's helping the elderly, community support. But everybody wants to make it a black and white thing. And oh, it's black, or was he white? What color? Was he Hispanic? Oh, was he Asian? I mean, it's goddamn, man. It's people, man. It's people who are good, who deserve to have some type of just humanity at the end of the day. But a lot of you guys don't see it like that. So all you want to look at is the color because you haven't read a lot of history. You haven't been educated yourself as far as what goes beyond just what you visually see. So you operate off emotions and you want to judge everything off a color. Well, get beyond that, man. And if you really want to see some things and consciously open your eyes and think about what is your actions, and are those really, you know, are those results really what you're pushing for, or are you just following somebody else's narrative? Just some food for thought, man. Big Herc 916 getting down fresh out.